Good morning, everyone. Not the prettiest morning out there. Some low cloud, drizzle and fog, some rain, a little bit of snow and patchy freezing rain. The temperatures are very, very interesting. I've been talking about how these weather systems this week are in retrograde. That means they're backing in from the east, moving westward. So things are not as they normally are. And a good example of that, the hot spot in all of Atlantic Canada right now is Burgeo at 6 degrees. That's where you'll find some of the warmer air. In fact, this afternoon along the west coast of Newfoundland, you could be flirting with double digits, a little bit of sunshine and some heat from the April sun. Temperatures are fairly similar right across the region, just above the freezing mark for the most part, near freezing with some patchy freezing drizzle in some areas. So be aware of that if you have to be on the road. -6 for you in Labrador City. The wind is not a big issue right now. It will pick up over the afternoon and evening with some tightening of the pressure gradient. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. But that wind direction has been out of the north and northeast for the last couple of days, and that's not going to change heading towards the latter part of the week. A little gust to 31 kilometers per hour for you in Bathurst. The wind is gusting to 30 off Sable Island. And for you in Newfoundland, the wind direction very similar, east to northeast. A little breezier for Labrador, winds gusting between 40 and 45 kilometers per hour. Again, that wind direction is not pleasant. It's cool and it's damp. Here's a look at the moisture profile. If you have a look at the 6-hour loop, you can see how it is backing in from the east and rotating around a very large, sprawling area of low pressure well out to sea. Another one coming in is going to tighten that pressure gradient to bring a significant wind as the system backs into that developing area of low. So let's pull back and have a look. We have 3 areas of low pressure, a little bit like a widget out over the water. And those areas of low pressure are being followed by this very deep, powerful storm system. It's going to stay offshore. It's going to come close enough to our coastline to bring strong winds. There are some wind warnings in place and some rain through the night tonight and day tomorrow. But otherwise, the system will stay well out to sea. So the weather from the system, not a big impact, but that flow, that circulation remains the same. So I'm going to take you through the short weather timeline without precipitation, just so you can keep an eye on the center of this developing storm and see how close it comes and how it's not tracking as it normally would from west to east. So we'll put that forward to tomorrow morning. In comes this powerful storm system. The contour lines get very close. By tomorrow morning, those winds will be gusting 50 to 60 kilometers per hour from the east and southeast on the leading edge of the system. Then through the day tomorrow, we'll put that forward. That low pressure system comes close to the southwest corner of Nova Scotia and then starts to be in retrograde. It continues to do that Friday afternoon to Saturday morning, and then finally it will sink away from our coastline, allowing the wind to diminish and that wind direction to change a little bit by Sunday to bring in some drier air and more pleasant weather. Now we're going to layer on the precipitation to see what you can expect over the next couple of days. There's some rain falling. We have some patchy freezing drizzle and freezing rain in Moncton, a little bit of mist in Charlottetown, some snow through parts of New Brunswick. That weather is backing in from the east, pushing westward. By tomorrow morning, it begins to let up over Cape Breton. Some of the heaviest rain across central and western regions of Nova Scotia, much of New Brunswick. The rain will continue through the day tomorrow. The system, as you saw earlier, is pushing up from the south, and then it sits for a while before it starts to spin away. Eventually that rain pushes out. For you in Newfoundland, there's not a great deal of weather for the next few days. Cloudy with sunny periods to mostly cloudy, but you'll be stuck with that raw northeast wind. So by Friday morning, still some lingering showers over western regions of Nova Scotia, a few showers through parts of New Brunswick, but overall the precipitation has moved out and the drier air starts to push down for the early part of the weekend. The wind will diminish somewhat. We still have a light northeasterly circulation on Saturday. By the time we get to Sunday, for some of us, that wind becomes south and southwesterly for the western regions of the Maritimes. A light breeze, partly sunny skies through Sunday, so conditions are going to get quite a bit better as the weekend goes on. In terms of wind, the only wind warnings right now are in the usual places. We have a Suet wind warning in place, and that's for tonight and tomorrow. Southeast winds gusting to 100, and the Wreckhouse winds gusts up to 110 kilometers per hour, mostly through the day tomorrow into the evening hours. And there are no rainfall warnings in place Rainfall is not going to be that significant, but having said that, I'll show you some of the totals you can expect for your local region. Rain 5 to 10 millimeters, not excessive for you in Newfoundland. Labrador could see significant snowfall, 10 to 15 centimeters on the colder side of the system. And in terms of rain for Nova Scotia, for much of Nova Scotia, it's 15 to 20, lesser amounts along the eastern shore and across Cape Breton. For you in PEI, 5 to 10, you may come over to the 15 millimeter side just briefly, 15 to 20 millimeters for you in New Brunswick. All that really starts going later today and continues through the day tomorrow. You're going to need rain gear, and it's not the warmest out there. Have a wonderful morning, and I'll see you back here this afternoon for a weather update.